Hello, fellow Smart Alecs, and welcome to the GeniusCast, the smartest podcast on the internet. I'm your host, Bud, and this is the very special first episode of this podcast. And welcome to the show, our very special first guest, Siobhan, aka RRavenRage. How are you today?
Splendid.
I did not stumble over that intro. I'm very pleased with myself.
I know, you did brilliantly. First time, first try.
Okay, so just back to our regular voices now. Welcome to the GeniusCast. This is the very first episode. I'm not sure how this is gonna go yet, but hey, first there has to be a first of everything, doesn't it? So in each episode, I'm gonna be interviewing a different YouTuber, and I'm gonna be asking them basically the same type of questions, like who's your favorite YouTuber, which first start YouTube, blah blah blah. I don't know how long these episodes are gonna be, but I can hope they be around the same length. So, should we get started? Siobhan?
I think we shall.
Alright, so we will start off asking, who is your favorite YouTuber?
God damn it, this question. I don't really honestly have a favorite YouTuber. There's a lot of YouTubers that I definitely enjoy watching, and a lot of YouTubers that were definitely inspirational for me, but favorite YouTuber.
You can say me, it's alright. You can say it's my favorite.
Yeah. My favorite YouTuber is TheNextGenius.
But all seriousness, like, do you have like a favorite, or is it like just a whole like slew of people that you all watch? Like,
yeah, no, I guess it's a whole slew of people. Like, there's YouTubers like I mentioned to you before we started, like Grace Helbig, and that definitely inspired my style of comedy. And then there's people like PewDiePie, and that inspired my style of editing and stuff like that. So there's just a lot of people that I watch. I think at the moment, someone that I watch a lot is Mythymoo. He does like Smite videos. I really like his editing style. But yeah.
Yeah, it's always hard for me to decide like who my favorite YouTuber is. I can probably tell you at least my top three are Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and either Dashy Games or PewDiePie. You ever heard of Dashy Games?
Yeah, the In the Hood ghetto.
I love him to death. He is so funny. Oh man. Okay, so next question: when did you first start YouTube? Like, when did you make your first video on your first channel?
One thing that I haven't mentioned that much in my channel, but I've had previous channels. Before this, I had a channel called Backrow Gamer, and I deleted it, which is something I regret now. But I deleted it due to like some copyright strikes and some stuff in real life that I was getting hate from due to the channel. So I decided.
Continue.
I decided to delete the channel then because I was getting bullied from it. But when did I upload my first video onto that channel? Probably sometime back in 2011, late 2011, early 2012.
Man, you're earlier than me.
Yeah, I was a little fetus then, and I sounded like I came straight out of an English anime dub.
Yeah, I remember watching your video on your thank you video back in like December, and you were talking about how you were shutting down your channel, and I'm really glad that you were able to stick with it, because I've had several thoughts of leaving YouTube, and and each time you get a lot of comments saying don't quit, and it's really good to have those people there because they really give you motivation to keep going.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's and I know you're happy to have the people that tell you to keep going. I'm happy to have my fans tell me to keep going. And just to anyone listening out there, if you're having any trouble, with hate or with quitting YouTube, don't give up. There are people out there backing you up. So that's Bud's motivational quote for the day.
Great motivational speech there from Bud. But no, and then. But like I've been on YouTube since like 2009, around then. I created my first YouTube channel. I was about like 8 or 9 then. But I used to watch like Sky Does Minecraft and people like then back in their early days, and Toby Games. I think Toby Games was the first
Toby.
YouTuber. Toby Games Minecraft Let's Play episode 1 was one of the first YouTube videos I ever watched.
Yeah, I don't remember who I started watching first. I think there was a YouTuber by the name of Nintendo Capri Sun, and he made console games, and I think basically he inspired me to basically start recording console games. But like I said before, it was Markiplier that had me start doing PC. Yeah. But gosh, when did I start? 2012, I think that's when I uploaded my first video. Because you've seen my first vlog on this channel is 2013, but I uploaded a lot of videos onto this channel before that. But yeah,
I remember I did it all on a laptop. I still have the laptop. It's completely destroyed. It's got a virus. The speakers don't work, and it's running a false version of Windows. But I still have my first laptop that I started YouTube on, and I remember like it was the laggiest thing. It was running like a 3000 Intel graphics card and a Intel Pentium processor. It was really awful.
Yeah, if you watch my older videos, like the laptop I first started using for YouTube, I still had that as well, and it still works. But the internet's kind of down on it, doesn't work, and the screen's cracked, and I have to plug it into a monitor for it to work. And the second laptop I ever used, which is have you heard me reference that the crappy computer that I had? Yeah, I've used that for most of the videos I uploaded on this channel, and I still have that too, and I just use it for schoolwork now. Yeah, downgraded computer. I have a better one now.
A couple of years back, I just invested in a desktop, and it's probably one of the best decisions I made.
Okay. What's the next question? I'm looking at my document here. All right, so you probably kind of answered this already, but who or what inspired you to start making videos?
Honestly, it was like everyone, like you see a lot of people with like all these really interesting answers, like, oh, I was having trouble with suffering from depression, and the comments really helped me out, and I'm just here like I was bored, so I decided to make YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's the best answer. I was born. I was put on this planet to make YouTube videos. No other purpose.
I was just bored to do it. I was just bored to do YouTube videos. I was bored one day, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a Minecraft mod showcase. And then like 2 weeks later, Sky Does Minecraft made one on the exact same mod, and I was like, God damn it.
Dang it, I had an original idea and then somebody else took it.
I know, right?
Okay, so, to the listeners, why don't you tell them about what you do on your channel and what types of videos you make?
Oh, well, my channel, wow, I do like, I don't have a singular type of video on my channel. Like, recently I've been throwing a lot of stuff at the wall and just seeing what sticks, like doing commentaries and funny moments and vlogs and all that sort of thing. I literally have everything, like, because I don't want to stick to one thing. I like doing different things, and diversity is probably the biggest thing I strive for on my channel. So
I'm assuming what?
Go on.
I was saying, I'm assuming, did you get kind of that idea from Jack? Because he does that exact same thing. He's always good with keeping things different for, you know, different types of people who watch the videos. Did you get that kind of inspiration from him?
No, honestly, if I'm being honest, I didn't know who Jacksepticeye was when I first started doing it. And then I found out about it, and I was like, this guy does the same things I do. It's great. And
you're from the same country.
Yeah, I know, we're from the same country. It's great. And his accent was like off the roof compared to mine. Do you think you could actually go and try to meet him? Because, like, I think since you live in the same country, you probably, like, if you live near him, you probably run into him on the street or something. He lives in a different county. He lives in Wicklow, I believe I saw somewhere on... Huh? No, I think it was, he lives around Wicklow now. He moved to an apartment somewhere in Wicklow a while back. But there is a Irish creator, like Irish Content Creators Day, coming up this year, which I'll probably go to. And if you ever meet him, record it. Yeah, last year he did a panel with Jack, obviously himself, Dahi, and Melanie Murphy, who is like a Irish beauty guru. But yeah, I'll definitely be going to that this year if it's on. And then we have CrackCon as well, which is like our little convention, and crack is fun in Irish, so. Well, yeah, so going back to
you talking about diversity and different videos on your channel. That's a very unique thing to, or it's not unique, but I mean, a lot of people do it, but it's a good thing to do because I've seen channels that upload like one or two of the same games constantly, like those Call of Duty channels and the Minecraft channels. Like you want a little more variety, and you have different types of people that watch your videos that want to watch different things, and that's why it's a good thing to do different videos. That's why I do it, because I know that there's people that prefer vlogs, or people that prefer live action, people that prefer this type of game or that type of game. So it's always a good thing to do to be very diverse with your uploads.
Yeah. No, I know, like, there are, like, types of games that you'll rarely see me play on my channel, like Minecraft and stuff like that, considering that back on my Batgirl Gamer channel, I was exclusively a Minecraft YouTuber, bar a couple of indie games now and again, but after 4 years of playing Minecraft, I just got sick of it. Like, I was playing Minecraft before I even started doing YouTube, so it was after a while, it became just this really repetitive thing. So I took a break from YouTube, and took a break from Minecraft and just started playing other games like Gary's Mod and stuff like that. But at the end of the day as well, if you want to watch Minecraft videos, there are so many Minecraft Let's Play channels out there. And if you don't want diversity, if that's not what you want, I'm sure there's something else out there that suits your taste.
Yeah, my cousin plays a ton of Minecraft, and I don't see, like, because I played Minecraft, I mean, I played my share of it, and it just kind of gets boring after a while. I don't see why people just want to play it for hours and hours and hours.
Oh yeah, it does, for sure.
But, yeah, the bottom line, like I've said, just, if anybody who's listening is thinking about making a YouTube channel or don't know where to go with it, just play all types of games. Just be very diverse.
My advice to someone, if you want to start YouTube and you don't know what to play what you like. Keep doing what you want to do, what games you want to do, and eventually people will start suggesting stuff. Like, I've gone through, like, years of YouTube without being suggested games, and recently I've got this influx of people telling me to play Minecraft, do more commentaries, and it's nice to see that people feel so strongly about the channel that they want to have an input in what goes up on the channel. But if you just do what you want, eventually people will start asking for what they want, and you can respond however so you please.
Yeah, that's very good advice. So, and one other thing about that is, like, people will respect your personality and will respect your type of style of videos and the types of games that you play. If they don't, they're not a real fan.
Yeah.
If they're a true devoted fan, they'll watch your content and give you honest opinions about your content and tell you what they don't like, and so that definitely shows you if they're a real fan or just someone that's trying to get you to pay attention to them.
Yeah, and don't listen to spam comments that tell you, I'll subscribe if you subscribe to me.
I hate those.
Yeah.
Come to my shout out Sunday.
Like, I like shout out Sundays, but don't tell me you're doing one, because I ain't gonna come to it.
Yeah, I've got like 10 spam comments in my spam comment folder about, like, people saying...
tell me about it. I was gonna do a video on it, and I filmed it, and then realized how harsh I was.
Well, these people need to have some sense knocked into them, because it's annoying.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely... And have you noticed recently that there's just a lot of spam? Like, more than usual, because I noticed that on my channel. Then the weird thing is I'm getting more subscribers and I'm getting more views than I usually do. At a more rapid rate. Like, we went from, 25 subscribers at the beginning of this week. Now we've got 40, and we went from 7.8k views to 800, which is ridiculous for me.
Wow.
It's like... Yeah, it's like, what? Where are you guys coming from? Did I get another shout out or something? What happened?
Alright. Okay, what's the next question? Alright, so if you're comfortable with sharing this, I know you talked about why you deleted your first channel, but with your current channel right now, what do you think has been the rockiest part of your YouTube journey / experience so far? Like I said, if you're comfortable with sharing that.
I'd say there was a couple, but then I think as well the good ones outweigh the bad ones, but some bad ones would be, towards the beginning, when it was first getting started, I completely disconnected any connection from my old channel to my new one, so nobody from my school or anything like that would be able to find me, yet somehow they found me. and I was very confused at how they did this. But one day in my class, we have computers. Basically, it's where everyone gets you go into the computer room and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, my school does that.
Yeah. But the computer teacher in our school, nobody listens to him. He has no power over students in any form, any shape or form. He just gets walked over by the students. And two of the boys from my class basically took it upon themselves to play my videos on speaker and basically yell abuse. And what my best friend did is she stood up, she pulled them out from under their chairs and unplugged their computers. That was probably one of the bigger things too. And I got rocks thrown at me when I was walking home once, and I had Raven Girl shouted at me. But I sort of avenged, like, I redeemed myself by basically, they didn't land a single rock, they didn't land a single hit, but at the very end, one of the kids hit it right at my face, but I caught it literally before it hit my face, and I just looked at the kid and dropped the stone and walked away. Like, I didn't throw it back, I just, like, dramatic drop, walk. I'm better than you.
Yeah, it's like, I always, basically, I had a lot of hate, well, not a lot of hate, but in the past few months, like, I think I've described, probably, if you've seen some of my recent videos, like in my 1,500 subscriber video, if you look at me back in, like 2 or 3 years ago, let's see, what do I weigh right now, like 175? I think I weighed about 220 back 3 years ago, and you could easily tell, like, I was so much heavier than I am now, and you have no idea the fat insults that were thrown at me constantly, and it was really hard to deal with. And you know, it's funny to see people still do it now, even though I'm a lot more toned, bigger.
The more it happens, the thicker your skin gets, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's not true. It's like people, like the most recent ones were a couple of weeks ago. It's like I go to the gym now, I exercise, like I do a lot more than what I did a few years ago, and I'm a lot more toned and built up than I was several years ago. But I think it's just these same people that don't. If you see the same insults, it shows that they can't come up with anything else. Like that's all they could do is just throw hate at you and can't move on. And I know I've referenced the listeners several times, but again, listeners, if you're going through hate, just don't give it the time of day.
Just don't feed the trolls. Now I've always been told to ignore it, and it went away, and I ignored the hate that I got for so long. And I'm talking about real life hate here. I'm talking about like people naming you, whispering your nickname in your ear and shit like that in the back of class, and I ignored that for about 2 years before it went away, but eventually it did, and now I have a mutual respect with anyone. In fact, there was this one girl who went around impersonating me. I'm not going to name names, but she went around and she impersonated me, basically saying, haha, I'm Batgirl Gamer, and like high-fiving everyone and shit like that. And now she's one of my best friends, which is kind of weird.
Well, you know, irony is sometimes good.
Yeah, it was like after a year, she had like a complete flush of personality and became like this really nice person, and I was like, oh, who are you?
It's like, yeah, I think my channel is floated around my school, and it's a lot of people, there's a lot of positivity toward it. I don't think I've had a lot of people make fun of me. Now, before I started, you've heard of The Legend of Zelda, right?
Obviously. Who hasn't heard of The Legend of Zelda? I mean, Ocarina of Time.
Right, game of 1998 right there, and of every year past that. But back in about 8th grade, I think I was constantly playing it to the point where I would talk about it to everybody I'd come across, and that's what people would make fun of me for. They'd say, "Oh, hey, you mean Zelda?" It's like every day I'd get it, and there was one class that I was in that was like a speech and debate class, and there was a story, and there was like a memorization type of thing, and this guy's story had Aunt Zelda in it. I think it was an aunt's name in that story, and he said that, and the entire room just dies. And I was sitting there like I didn't really know what to say. I just wanted to sink through the floor, and I think I toned down playing games altogether after that.
Yeah, I don't think that's how, like, you're letting them win. If I was in that situation, like, one thing I hate, especially, and, like, this situation was in school for you, right?
Yeah.
One thing I hate is the lack of, like, authority that the teacher, like, the authority the teachers have, use it in a situation needed. Why don't teachers step into situations like that they're present for? Like, it went on for ages, and teachers even knew about it, and nothing happened, and that is one of the things that pissed me off the most. Now, I know this isn't related to YouTube, but the girl that I was talking about that made fun of me, she actually gets made fun of now for not making fun of everyone anymore. She's, like, a legitimate nice person. But it was in PE, and she was getting dodgeballs thrown at her. She was being called a mom, saying that she, like, some really nasty stuff, and she eventually started crying and ran out of the PE hall, and the teacher watched the entire time. The teacher did nothing while everyone threw dodgeballs at her, and I wasn't there that day. I was out sick, but I know if I was in, I would have done something.
That's really terrible. How I can't believe the teacher wouldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, and afterwards, the teacher went up to the people who did it and said, "Why did you do that?" Like, what the fuck? You could have stopped it.
Yeah, you could have walked up and told them.
Am I allowed to swear on the podcast?
No, it's fine. It's alright. But yeah, it's like, hearing all this, it's like going back to, in real life and YouTube, both one and the same. The best way to get rid of hate is to stop. It's just to ignore it and not say anything to it. Don't give anybody who's making fun of you the time of day, because if you respond to it, it'll get so much worse. Because they'll know it's getting under your skin, and that's why they're doing it. If you don't give them the time of day, they'll stop. And if they don't, just keep ignoring them. Eventually, if they don't stop, like, in a couple of weeks, there's something definitely wrong. But most of the time, 99% of the time, they'll stop once you ignore them for a while.
Yeah, like for me, it took 2 years to make them stop, but they did eventually. But one thing I wanted to add in is, I know there are a lot of, like, young kids, and I'm not talking about, like, my age, like, teen. I'm talking, like, 10 to, like, 11, 12 that are doing YouTube. And one thing I've seen is you need to learn how to decipher hate from constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Because I've seen kids, like, some guy say, "Your audio sounds really bad. Could you maybe you should invest in a mic," or something like that.
That's not hate. Like, it's just, that's constructive
criticism.
Would be
like,
you telling me what to do? I'm gonna kill you.
Like, whoa, he was just giving you some advice. Like, take it, okay? He's right. Or, like, I get it. I get if, like, someone's being very aggressive, being like, your mic sounds like a potato, you suck. Like, yeah, that's pretty mean. But if someone says this is a low quality video, don't use the free version of Bandicam, get yourself a version of Fraps, maybe, like, crack it or something. And then he's like, "I can use Bandicam if I want to use Bandicam." In all caps, obviously. Yeah, I think I've seen it quite a bit, and yeah, younger audience or anyone really, just learn to decipher hate from constructive criticism, because constructive criticism is probably the best type of comment you can get on your channel that can help you develop it.
Exactly. That's a great answer. I couldn't agree more. All right, moving on to I guess you could call this the final question. What is the thing that you like the most about YouTube? Like, your favorite thing about it?
My favorite thing about YouTube? This is a difficult question. Like, I talk a lot about, and if anyone, like, has ever talked to me outside of my channel, and, like, whether it be on Twitter DMs or on Skype or whatever it is, I do speak very poorly of YouTube and the way that they run the site itself. I mean, the sub box has been broken for years, and like, everything involving have you seen recently the I Hate Everything channel that got taken down, and he wasn't even given an apology? Did you hear about this? It's basically this guy who makes videos similar to Leafy and Pyrocynical. Have you heard of them?
I don't believe I have.
They're basically people who take channels or videos or themes and they make fun of them, they roast them, but they do it in a satire way. So it's comedy basically, but they don't do it in an extremely mean way. It's more comedic value, and everyone sees that. But a copyright strike. I Hate Everything basically reviewed a movie and how awful it was, and the director basically filed a copyright strike against him, and so did a lot of people, and his channel got taken down just because of one copyright strike, because the internet doesn't like his channel because it's based around negativity. And his channel was wrongfully taken down, and due to support from a bunch of bigger YouTubers, his channel got put back up, but YouTube didn't even give him an apology. They just said, here's your channel.
Yeah, YouTube, like, there's so many problems I could list on and on about YouTube. I agree with you about that.
Like, one thing that I remember about YouTube, like, back in early days of YouTube. Now, I never had an account at this time, but I knew of YouTube, and I knew that it was a thing. Because I didn't have much access to the internet as a tiny little child. But, do you remember ever hearing that YouTube used to have 5-star ratings?
No, I didn't. How early was this?
First couple of years of YouTube, I'd say YouTube had 5-star ratings. Basically, for quite a few years YouTube had 5-star ratings, and then they changed it eventually into likes and dislikes. So it's like changing 5-star ratings to likes when there's so many other problems with the site, or changing the whole banner layout for when you could have fixed your sub box.
Yeah, it's like priorities. Like you're instead of fixing the big things that need to be fixed, that everybody wants fixed, they leave those alone and go for the tiny little things. And it seems like every time they fix something, something else breaks, and that's what's annoying about it.
Yeah, and then there's just the spammers that completely influx everyone, and the thing that annoys me the most is that the spammers are the people who get subscribers because they're asking for them. And then there's one thing as well, I actually signed a petition recently to get YouTube to create a discover button, which I think would be very effective for the community, and I think it would have a very positive impact on the YouTube community. But the thing is, YouTube would really higher their standards if they had a competitor. That's the thing, YouTube does not have competition. The closest competition is like Vimeo and Dailymotion. So, like, let's say there was a new site that blew up, and people started uploading there, YouTube would really start to try and fix everything to try and get their, the community back.
Yeah, gotta get it back in the spotlight.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, YouTube is not perfect.
It's not. I totally agree. I couldn't agree more.
YouTube isn't perfect, okay? Like, there is the completely awful recommended videos, there's the broken sub box, there's just so
inactive
much,
subs,
spammers, the comment system that is just complete and utter crap. Like, I remember the days when there was top comments, and then the rest of the comments. Could you not make it that simple, YouTube?
Yeah,
No.
I want the top comments back. I got a top comment a couple of times, and it was the most awesome feeling in the world, and then they stopped doing it. And
Yeah.
they sort of still do it now, but
It's a lot more difficult to get top comment. You've got to be like freaking, you got to be Gabe Newell with your comments. You got to be Valve style with your comments. you gotta be Jesus with your comments. But another thing I've noticed recently about YouTube is they're deleting subscribers.
Oh yeah, I think it's because they remove inactive subscribers. I think that's what it is. I mean, I've always thought whenever I lose a subscriber or two, I've always thought that there are people that are going and unsubscribing, but I think it's inactive subscribers or closed accounts that they're just removing. And it's annoying, but I mean, I understand it.
Yeah. But then again, you said the question was, what's your favorite thing about YouTube? And then we both went on this rant of how unperfect YouTube is.
But it's good to go over the negatives, and then you can focus on the positives.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing about YouTube isn't anything got to do with the program itself, but back on my old channel, now this is a story that hardly anyone knows actually barely anyone knows from my YouTube channel, but it was probably the pinnacle and the best thing that's ever happened to me related to YouTube. One of my best friends I met through making Minecraft commentaries on my old channel. I commented on one of his videos. I literally searched up Irish gamer, and one of his Minecraft videos came up. At the time he was around my size, at just like 200 to 300 subs, and I said, hey, do you want to do a video? And we both did like a Run from the Beast video on Minecraft, and after that we just kept becoming really good friends. And we both live about 20 minutes away from each other, and on the 16th we're actually going to go meet for the first time after 4 years.
Yeah, that is awesome. I'm hoping.
And we met through YouTube, so I think that's probably the best thing that's ever happened to me through YouTube as a community and as a whole.
I definitely agree with you that meeting people is definitely the best part. Like Davey, Dan, Tom's, you, for example, a couple other people. It's like meeting people is definitely the most interesting and fun part of YouTube, because I know that you're not meeting them in person, but like you're learning their personalities, and you'll know them well enough to when you do meet them in person, it's like they're one of your, it's like a best friend that you can converse with. And
for sure.
like take Yami Mash and Markiplier for meeting, for example. Like they knew each other really well, but then when they met in person, it's like a completely different experience. But
for sure. Like it's a completely, the contrast between through a computer and in real life is drastic. Like, I think anyway. But I think it's also a really great thing. So I think meeting people and making friends is probably the best thing that has happened through YouTube for me. And I'm sure you can agree with that.
I do all the way. So to end off this episode, is there anything you'd like to tell the people listening?
If you have a YouTube community, for say, that's pretty toxic. No, this might sound pretty weird, but if you have a community that's pretty toxic, I mean, like, that are quite a violent community, because I know there are communities like that.
I've seen that.
Be proud of your community, no matter if they're toxic, because if your community is toxic, you're probably toxic. And if you stop being toxic, so will your community. Your community will follow you like a pack of wolves following their next meal. They will like the ones that are the real, I don't hate saying the word fans, but it's sort of the only word I can think of. The people that really enjoy your content are the people that will follow you no matter what change you make to your channel, or no matter how big or small, whether it be changing your profile picture or like your intro, or maybe going from making funny moments to making commentaries. They will appreciate that, and they will accept that because they like your content and they like you as a person.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't be afraid to change if you want to change. And if YouTube is becoming too much of a grind and you feel like you're just, it's becoming very tiring, take a break. Whether that be a week or a couple, just take a break, dude.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of this episode, if it's a true fan, they will respect you. They'll respect what you do, your style, anything like that. And that's what makes them a true fan, if, like you said, if they follow you, whatever you do. And if they don't, then that means that they're not a fan. And that's what and I know you agree with that, and that's what I've always thought.
Oh yeah, for sure. I also want to say a couple, just one little thing, because I know there are probably a lot of people who watch your videos that do like, or participate in shoutouts or have shoutout series. If you want to do a shoutout series, I think that's great. I think shoutout series are great. I think they're really good for communities and they can really expand, but only if you do them in the right way. Because I'm not going to name a name, but I've been watching this guy for the last couple of weeks, and he I don't agree with his style. Basically, every night he does 2 live streams a day, one in around 3 p.m. my time. I don't know what that would be for you. I think that would probably be like 6 a.m.
You're 6 hours ahead of me, so
yeah, I think it's 5 a.m.
Something like that.
Yeah. It'd be early enough. And then another one around midnight. So probably from around now to around midnight, he'd do a live stream. But basically, he'd wait till he would get to a certain sub count, and that would probably be quite a big sub count, like 15 more subscribers, and I'll do another shout out.
That's not the way to do it.
The shoutouts that he'd do would only get people like 2 subscribers, and I'd be watching them, and he'd be like telling people to go follow him and all his social media, and I think the method there is just cancerous to me.
I agree. That's not the way you do shoutouts.
I would like to do a shoutout series. I think that would be very good because, like, at the end of the day, one thing I love doing on my channel is giving back to the community that support me, and I think shoutouts is a great way to do that. Don't advertise it everywhere, and don't put shoutouts on this like stool of hierarchy. Like, you have to do all this for me to get one. You know, you have to get your friends to subscribe, and I think if you deserve a shoutout, you get a shoutout.
That's why I like Nova Project. Basically, like, yeah. I've seen. I
agree with that too.
He says that you don't have to subscribe to both. You just subscribe to one. It was your favorite, and just to be active and comment on his videos. That's all you.
Most people go to both from Nova.
And that's all you gotta do. That's why I really like his style of shoutouts.
And one thing I also really like about like everyone at Nova is that when Franco, because Franco's the one who does the shoutouts, when Franco does the shoutouts, he gives constructive criticism about the channel. For instance, he told me that my banner and profile picture didn't work. I got a new banner, and I asked him about my current banner before I put it up, and he said, that's a good banner, you should use that one. And I was like, thanks. But I think the constructive criticism is also a great thing to do with the shout-out. So yeah, a huge shout-out to Nova right there.
Yeah, but hopefully if he ever shouts me out, I hope he gives me some constructive criticism as well.
Another thing, I know I'm sort of dragging this out, I suppose. Sorry about that.
Well, these can be long. They're podcasts after all.
Yeah. And I think it has only been like we were in the call for 20 minutes before we started, so.
We've been going for 38 minutes.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna do a bit more then, I suppose. We could just talk, I suppose. One thing as well, I've been watching this kid for about a year. I've been watching his channel. When I first saw him, he had 1,000 subscribers. Within a month, he went to like 2K. And he's now currently at about 8,000, almost 9.
Wow.
And he's about the same age as me. He's about 13, actually. He's a year younger than me. He has an odd personality. One thing I will say is obviously don't have this black and white personality, but don't make it so complex that people don't like you, is what I'm saying. Don't have it as like every video is a completely different person.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Because he'll go from one emotional video being like, you guys, I can't handle the hate anymore, I'm quitting, to the next video posting on the Roast Me subreddit and going like this after every roast.
Yeah, if you're going to be doing YouTube, stick to one personality only. Don't go back and forth.
Yeah, and another thing as well is, with YouTube, I don't tend to show myself that much. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's kind of more of a persona. If you know what I mean, that's one of my goals for YouTube, is to express a persona, one that people can relate to, and one that people enjoy watching and find entertaining. Now, obviously, it's me. No, like, obviously, I'm a pretty hyper person, to be honest. Like, I'm more outgoing, definitely, than I used to be. I'm less awkward. I'm a lot like I used to make myself out to be, like, I'm so awkward. I'm such an awkward person, like the people on Tumblr. But I came to a realization that I'm more like the persona I portray them. I seem to be, because I'm more hyper than I am. I'm kind of funnier than I think I am, according to a lot of people, and I'm not shy. Like, if I went out to town in a fucking Attack on Titan cape, if that shows how outgoing I am.
I've never thought of myself as the most outgoing person. Like I will be like outgoing in public, but it's like I mean, I do a face cam just about every single video, and it goes back once again to people who respect you and who are fans. I mean, they will let you know if they don't want the webcam or not, and you know they'll let you know what they like and don't like.
Personally, I think the face cam allows you to connect with your audience a bit more. Like, especially like I feel like they get to see your reactions a bit more and see how you react, and I think they can take that. And I feel like sometimes it can provide funnier content. Like for instance with my Life is Strange series, I think the face cam would be a vital part of that. But for a commentary, no. I see people do commentaries where they have face cams, and I don't understand why, because they're not really necessary. Oh, my friend just messaged me saying, can you come over tomorrow? But yeah, I feel like I feel like, again, that comes back to the constructive criticism. Take it. Use it. Because it's there. They wouldn't give it to you if it wasn't needed.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if they give it to you when it isn't needed, that's not constructive criticism. That's hate.
Anyway, but do you think that wraps up this episode?
Yeah, I suppose it does, my friend. I suppose it does.
Alright, well, if you're still here after 40 minutes, thank you guys for sticking through this whole thing. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a like. It would help both of us out a lot. Go check out Siobhan's channel. It will be in the description. And we will see you guys in the next episode of this podcast. Hopefully that comes out in the next week.
Stay smart.
Stay smart, my friends. Alright.